Hey guys, so today we are going to try doing Open WebUI but without the Docker image. So we have this GitHub repo and I'm going to clone it. So we have the repo clone and there's multiple ways where you can use it. So if you see here, this is how Open WebUI site looks like. So as you can see, this is a heavy JavaScript svelte built language along with a lot of Python and TypeScript, I guess. So what is Svelte is a front-end JavaScript framework, just like we have React and some other ones. So this one also uses Svelte. What I want to do is try to install it. So you can either use pip. One of the things is you can install using Python pip. I think you need to have Python 3.11 version. I have 3.12, which is okay. If I want, I can do it, but I don't want to do this right now. I mostly want to use GitHub version of it so that we can make whatever changes we want. So if you see earlier, I do have images. Now I could have run this image and just use it, but it's only dependent on whatever is happening here. One thing you can do is fork this repo. You can already see 15,000 people have forked it. Many people may not be using it, but still there's a huge number. And fork it and then use it as much as you want. The problem with forking it is that you will have to continue rebasing. Now, if you just want to make small changes to the UI which you use, that's totally fine. But if you want to use it as a running thing for yourself, you might have to use instructions here. We have Ollama on our computer, and all we need to do is to run this. So we covered that in the previous video where we can just use this image and just run it. That is totally fine, not a problem at all. And instead of using this image, what you can do is you can build your own image. So now that you're here, and you can see there's massive amounts of Docker compose files here. That is totally fine. But there's also Dockerfile, and that's the key thing which I wanted to focus on today. So if you look at Dockerfile, again, this is a huge file. Now we can start from scratch. That is totally okay. So you can see, so generally the Docker files are very small, but here they have, this is a big file. The most important thing here which I wanted to share is the Docker file. Now this Docker file allows us to build a whole new image based on the changes we make here. Now let's say if I want to make any changes here with all those things, which we can look at it later, but the point is that this Docker file allows. Now there's a lot of things. This is an open source project, so I'm sure there's building a lot of things. So you can see they are building from a front end, and then there's also a back end. So they're using multiple images and then building one big image out of it. But the main thing we need to see is this from image. That's a node alpine image which they're using to start the front end, and they're building something on top of it. How do they do it? There's other more commands to it. I'm not going to go in detail, but these commands allow, you can see package.json, which is a node specific thing, and then going deeper into it and building the whole thing. So that's one thing. And then you use WebUI backend, and then that means we get the Python image as base, and then we make changes or add things to it. There are environment variables, adding models and whatever not, which is great. But the main thing is that at the end of the day, it needs to run our like Open Web UI thing. So if you look at it, after all this is done, so it runs the backend, it runs the front end. Towards the end, you will just see the start.sh. So there is a start.sh which has been started, which is supposed to make sure that the whole image runs, or yeah, the image runs in the container with that particular script. So to see what that does, we can look at start.sh. So it's in backend. So this script allows you to run bunch of things. So I'm assuming this will just make sure that all the network is connected and we have other variables set. And at the end of the day, it will run a Python command. So it's a Python server running uvcorn. That's it. So that runs the whole server. If I want to make these changes, I can do docker build with something, some image name, and then we can do dot, which will point to this particular Docker file and then use it. But someone has already done this, or open source community has already done it. It's called run.sh. Now, I don't want to go deeper into any of those, but this file is interesting because it exactly explains what I was going to do on on my terminal, but it allows you to do it right here. So if you see here, it's a simple script. It takes the image name, it takes the container name, which basically means once we run the image, what would be the name of the container right there. And they have the host port, container port. So that means if it is running on 3000, it will show as 8000, and all those details are presented here. And then, so what we do, we build with this image name with the Docker file given. We stop the container, whatever was running before, I'm assuming, and then we remove the container, and then we run the new image which we just created. We created this new image, and so we can continue doing that. So in this case, we already know from our previous video that we can run Ollama. So let's run Ollama, in a different terminal. We'll move this all up. Let's get some Ollama going. How do we do that? So we use this command, Ollama host 0.0, to start the Ollama. It's already in use. So probably, yeah, so that's still running because I think I restarted my WSL. Let me shut it down. Okay, great. So that starts Ollama serve. So I'm able to do that. Awesome. Now, so I know that I need to run my Docker run command, something like this. Now, obviously, since they have already given us the script, I can do that there. So instead of using host Docker internal host, I can put this there. So we have the URL ready. I don't know why -e is giving an error there. And let's change it. I want to change this to local so that it builds a local image. I can see what images I have. I have Hello World and Open WebUI, so that's great. Now all I need to do is run this image, which this. Let me just make sure I have everything else correct. I'm restarting always. I have the container name. Okay, so now let me run this. So if I run, just want to run run.sh. So this run does not have an executable command because I'm assuming this is being used as a helper function somewhere else. So I can change its, okay, now it should be executable. So let's try it again. Okay, there you go. Let's wait. So that actually failed. Okay, so it looks like it failed because of a fatal error. Researching it, I saw that if you go to Dockerfile, we have this thing called node options. So apparently I need to modify this or uncomment it, which is a common way to handle a Node.js environment. The solution is to increase the memory limit for Node.js to process itself. I'm sure other people faced it, so that's why there's a comment here. So let's uncomment it and try it again. Okay, so it looks like it's done. Let's see. I don't think there's an error, but okay, there you go. Our local image is ready. It's slightly larger than this one, but this is also 7 weeks ago. So I'm assuming it has increased since then. And if I do Docker PS, nothing is running. What happened here? Okay, so let's see. I don't want to build again because that will take a huge thing. We already have the image here. Let me clear this. Images. I have it. So now if I run.sh, what happens? My comment is creating a problem. Okay, let me just add an host with that. I don't think there would be a problem. Let's just continue here. Okay, let's see. All right, it's running. Great. And do I still have my images? Because it prunes it. Okay, I still have those. Good. What does prune do? It removes the undangling and unused images. Dangling images are those that are not tagged and aren't referenced by any container. I guess it should have pruned it, but anyways, it didn't. Never mind. So we have the Docker container running. Now it's time to test. Here we go. Let's look at the logs. Is it pointing to 3000? I didn't see that. I'm sorry. Okay, 3000 it is. We don't have a volume. Let me add it. Logged in, and there you go. We have the latest model here. You have the local image allowing it to run. Now the benefit of that is that whatever you decide to change here in this whole code base, let's say you want to change something in chat.svelte, you can build it again and then continue creating a new image, and it will allow you to use that image. You can also run it locally. Maybe I'll think about making a video about that, but for now this is it. Thank you.